guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am filming an episode of the Lunar Knit podcast. Sorry, it's been 3 weeks, so I obviously forgot how to talk. If you guys are new here, my name is Lori and I am the host of the Lunar Knits podcast as well as the owner behind Lunar Knits by Lori. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube and Ravelry and Facebook, anywhere under Lunar Knits by Lori. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. I am located in Columbus, Ohio, where I live with my husband and my 2 wonderful pups. And today is pretty gloomy, so sorry if the lighting isn't the best. I tried to get some lighting here, but it's a very gloomy spring day here in Columbus, Ohio, where I am located. So on my agenda today, I am about to run to the yarn store after I make this podcast. I'm not really looking for anything in particular. I just have a little bit of an itch to go check it out. I haven't been to my local yarn shop in quite some time, so it's overdue. And I know local yarn shop day is next weekend, but I just can't wait, so we're gonna do it anyways. So if you tuned into my last episode, which I put out a little over 3 weeks ago now, you would know that I was headed off to the Maker Retreat in Michigan. My friend Sierra was the person who put together this entire event, and it was absolutely incredible. So if you guys aren't familiar with the Maker Retreat, basically 36 lovely maker ladies went out to Michigan, Finnville, Michigan, and we had a little maker sleepover. So the event was just so magical. Sierra made it run perfectly smoothly, at least from a participant's point of view, a person who attended's point of view, I should say. It went so smoothly. Like, I didn't know if there were any issues or anything the whole time. It was so much fun. I met so many new friends that I never would have met if I didn't go, so that's awesome. And then I met some people that I had known for quite some time, so it really was a great event. Basically, I'm gonna give you a little rundown of it quickly. Sarah has a vlog on her channel if you wanna go check it out. I'll make sure to link it down below. I believe her account is Sarah's Crafty Creations, so I really highly recommend you guys checking her out. She's the sweetest and she's so talented and she just has the biggest heart. But basically what Sierra planned was a weekend away for all the maker ladies out there, and we just went and stayed in a big Airbnb house together, so 36 ladies in a house in the middle of Michigan together. It was a blast and exhausting. So the first day when we arrived, we kind of just got to hang out with each other and get to know everyone, get our stuff situated, and there was a lot of knitting and crocheting going on, which was beautiful. So then we had our yarn dyeing class, which I don't have my yarn to show you because I already used it, so I have a finished object to show you in a minute. But we had a yarn dyeing class, which was a blast. I really learned a lot and I can't wait to make some more videos for you guys. I like to do yarn dye with me videos, so that's definitely gonna be coming soon. I have some yarn on order for that. After the yarn dyeing class, it was getting pretty late, so most of the people went to bed, including myself, because we had a very long and early day the next day. So when we woke up, we had our hook making class. So we got to make 2 crochet hooks if we signed up for the class, which I did. And I'm not going to show you mine because I'm not very happy with the way they turned out, and plus they're already put away and I just don't want to worry about that. But just know it was so much fun to just do it anyways. Whether they turned out good and I'm going to use them or not, it doesn't matter. I just had a lot of fun connecting with the people that were in my group, doing something creative, and just I felt like their creativity I was able to like bounce off of, because I usually just work alone, so I don't get to see other people's thought processes and how they get to their end result. So that was a lot of fun, as well as with the yarn dyeing class, obviously. But then after that, we had a little bit of free time and some lunch, and then it was time for Melissa from Woods and Wool. She had a workshop where she talked all about photography, which was so helpful for me. So she talked about photography and lighting and getting great pictures, which, like I said, was so helpful for me. We got a little booklet here, which I'm so glad because my husband takes my pictures, and I think he's kind of been liking it a little bit more lately. At least he doesn't like grunt and groan every time I ask. So I thought he would really like this book to kind of give him a little bit more perspective on photography. Neither of us are professionals and neither of us like do it on a regular basis, but he's a lot better than me just naturally. So I was really excited that she had a little booklet, so it was like he could join me in that workshop and learn some of the skills as well. So this was really helpful, and I know that she was like selling these, like selling a little workshop that you could do online with her. So you should check out Melissa if you're still interested and see if she still offers this, because it was a really great class and I learned a lot. And then after Melissa's class, we headed off to the yarn store, and it was a really overwhelming experience. The yarn store stayed open late for us, so that was nice. But 36 ladies crammed into a yarn store was very overwhelming. I didn't know where anything was. I didn't know what I wanted. I wasn't really gonna get a lot, but I had been saving my tip money. I'm a dog walker and I get tips sometimes, so I had been saving that for the last few months to buy whatever I wanted so I wouldn't feel guilty. And so I decided that I wanted to make the Birkin sweater. So a bunch of the ladies helped me pick out some yarn that I had been eyeballing online, which I'll also show you here in a little bit when I get to that section. But that was a lot of fun to have other makers really just help me out, because I'm not the best at color selection. I have a hard time making decisions, so it was nice to have people step up and be like, I want to help you. So 4 or 5 ladies came in and we all just like looked at the colors and we passed them by, and I think I came up with the perfect combination. And sorry if you guys don't like when I talk with my hands. I do it a lot. Okay, I'm gonna try to like sit on them so I don't annoy you too much. But after the yarn store, we went out to dinner at a local family-owned restaurant, which was really cute. It was very different, and we just all hung out, really. We ate food. Some people had some drinks, which got interesting. One of my friends, Jaylee, she started dancing and really got the mood set for the night for sure. But then we got back, and regardless of how tipsy we were, we had Tony from TL Yarn Crafts. She did a workshop on Instagram, which was super helpful, and Tony is such a great presenter, just as Melissa is as well. So both workshops were very helpful. Those alone were definitely worth the experience. I learned so much, and I can't wait to move forward with my brand and my Instagram and just make it all better. So after Tony's class, it was a free night. We knit and crochet, some of us partied, there was a hot tub, there was games. Basically, it was a free-for-all, so you really noticed the people that wanted a little more casual, laid back, they separated off and they went and they crocheted and they knitted, and then eventually they started going off to bed, and then a few of us, we stayed up and were having a little dance party in the kitchen, which was joyous, and then we ended up in the hot tub. So that was a lot of fun, and then the next day we just cleaned up and it was time to get the heck back to Columbus, which it was much needed because that weekend was so fun-filled and exhausting, and it was perfect. It was just the right amount of free time and just the right amount of workshops, so I felt like I really got to meet everyone. And then I really stayed busy, so I didn't feel like, man, I want to go home. Because me being an anxious person, if I'm sitting there too long and if we're just sitting there knitting, I'm really going to start to feel anxious and like I want to leave and I got to get out of there. But just whenever I would start getting that way, there was a workshop and there was something to do to keep me active. And I know a lot of makers are that way, anxious and uncomfortable, and a lot of the people that were there, they were so scared to be there, which made you feel a lot better. But then everybody kind of just took their alone time. It was really overwhelming, 36 women sitting in a living room together, all trying to have a separate conversation. So it was really loud, and people were just taking themselves out of the situation, going and being alone, and then coming back in, and nobody was questioning that or shaming you for that, and it just felt really good. So it was by far one of my favorite, best weekends I've ever had. So I'm really glad that Sierra invited me along to that, and I'm just so happy. So yeah, so let's just get into everything that I have to show you. So I'm not wearing anything knitted or crocheted today because it is getting quite warm here in Columbus, and I'm gonna be running around doing a few things today, so I just wanted to keep it easy. But I do have a few things to show you. Guys, I don't know where to start. I'm like looking at my pile of stuff down here, and it's like, do I show you the yarn or do I show you the finished objects and stuff? I think I'm gonna go ahead and start with stash acquisitions, because when I got back from the maker retreat, I had a lot of yarn and I hadn't had new yarn for so long, so it was kind of nice to be spoiled. So the maker retreat, we got a really great goodie bag. I've already taken everything and separated it out for things I want to use for giveaways in the future or keep for myself or whatnot. So that's already put away. But I'm going to show you the yarn that I got while I was at the maker retreat, and then the yarn I got right when I got back from the maker retreat. So let's dive in. So like I mentioned, we went to the yarn store in Finville. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, which is really annoying. I'm sorry. But when we walked in, the first thing I noticed was that they had Quince & Co. And I had been dying to try Quince & Co. for a while. I had heard a bunch of people talking about it on podcasts, and I'd seen people post pictures of it, and it just looks so beautiful. But I have a really hard time buying yarn like that online whenever I can't touch it and know how it's gonna feel. So when I saw it, I geeked out. I got so excited. I knew I was gonna get some, but I didn't know what project I was gonna make because I told myself that I didn't need any yarn. I wasn't gonna buy any yarn, but I already knew that wasn't true because I was saving my money. So here we are. So I decided to make Caitlin Hunter's Birkin sweater. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it has a floral yoke, and then it's just a basic stockinette sweater. It's really cute. I thought it'd be great for springtime. Obviously not this year, next year. It'll also be really great for fall because of the colors I got, but let's just go ahead and show you because you want to see. So the first color I got, this is going to be the main color. I think I got 5 or 6 skeins of this color. But yeah, this is the Quince & Co. Turn, which is 75% American wool and 25% silk. Honestly, I don't feel the silk. It's not the softest, but I think it'll bloom nicely. Melissa from Woods of Wool said she really liked Quince & Co. She hadn't tried this particular one, but she said she really liked it. So now with Quince & Co., they're only 50 gram skeins, which is why it looks so small. But this is in the Cumulus colorway, and it has 221 yards, and they're all the same turn base, T-E-R-N if you're wondering. But this is just a really nice neutral color. I really want it, the base of it to be lighter and then just have colors on top of it. Pretty similar to the original sample, to be honest with you. So I got this as the base, and then I have 4 colors to go with it. So these are the 4 colors that I chose. I'll go ahead and put it with the base color. So like I said, a lot of the lovely ladies really helped me out. We went back and forth on a few colors, but I think we ultimately ended up with the best combination. So I'll go through the colors really quickly. They're all Quince & Co. on the turn base, which is the 75% American wool and this 25% silk, which I'm dying to try. This is in the dusk colorway, which is a really nice purple. I would say it's just a pretty average purple, maybe a little dusty mauve purple, but pretty basic purple. And then I got the Aventurin colorway. I don't know. It's like a greeny teal color, which love this one. I don't know what color is gonna be what yet, but I just love them all. So here we are. And then I got this one, which I believe is terracotta, which is, just as it says, a terracotta color, which I love this one. This was probably like the first one I grabbed, and I probably thought I wanted it to be the main color, but I toned it back. And then I got kelp, which is a really nice green color, which is obviously gonna be the leaves on the yoke. And I just got 1 skein each of the colors because you don't need that much, which is so nice. And I believe that these were $9.50 a skein, which isn't that bad, but you have to keep in mind they are 50 gram skeins. So it's half of what a normal skein that I would buy is. And then, like I said, these are 221 yards and for 50 grams. So there you are. This is gonna be a Birkin sweater sometime in the near future. I promise. I can't wait. It's gorgeous. The same weekend as the maker retreat, when I got home, I had a package waiting for me from Autumn and Indigo. She's one of my favorite dyers. I think her yarn is just like the softest I've tried. I don't know what her bases are that are different because they're pretty much the same ratio as other dyers, but that's beside the point. Whatever, we're moving on. I had purchased before I left for my trip a 300 gram mystery bag of her yarn. So if you're not familiar with Autumn and Indigo, she is one of the few indie dyers, honestly, that does like clearance skeins. So she will have really discounted skeins of yarn, and they're mysteries, so you don't know what you're gonna get, which is kind of fun. You can put in the notes like kind of what you want, and she does really go off of that. I don't like to do that. I like to have the mystery completely mystified. But this time when I went on, she had 300 gram mystery bags. So it was just a total of 300 grams that you would get between DK weight, fingering weight. You would get like mini skeins, full skeins. It just would equal 300 grams of yarn. And I couldn't resist. It was like $45, I think, which is a great deal. And I got my bag when I got back, and I had these colors waiting for me. So she put together these ones, which I was fairly happy with. I think they all go together quite well. And I'm really excited. Okay, so I'm gonna go through these with you. So I got two 50-gram skeins of her classic sock. This is in Fairy Wind, which is probably my favorite. It's a nice purple base with tons of colored speckles. So there's yellow speckles, red speckles, blue speckles, orange, just all the speckles. I love it so much. Like, this one's probably one of my favorites. So this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 231 yards, and it's a 4-ply. So that's the first mini I got. And then I got this mini skein, which is called Melted Copper, on the same base. And it's just a nice neutral tan color with a little bit of colored speckles in it as well. So it really does resemble this one, just a different base color. And I got two 100-gram skeins of the same base yarn, but it comes with 463 yards because it's a full skein. And this is Argon, I believe. And it's just a nice, it's a really pretty like teal turquoisey blue color with some speckle accents as well. As you can see here, there's a little bit of green in there, but it's mostly just a very tonal turquoisey blue color, which it's really pretty, you guys. I love these. And this one is so, you know how I feel about pink, and this is like a peachy pink, which is obviously one of my favorites. And this is called Melba on the same base, and it's just like a peachy pink color with some darker speckles as well. You can see here, and there's a little bit of a darker, like rosier purpley color in here as well. So these actually do go pretty nicely together. I could see it in a colorwork sweater. Socks would be nice. I don't know, actually, yeah, it's superwash merino, so socks could be good. Anything, and I'm glad that it came on a sock base because it is my favorite base. But yeah, that's all I have to say about these. Autumn and Indigo, one of my favorites. Definitely check her out and enjoy some mystery bags. I just have a couple more skeins of yarn to show you, I promise. So I ended up sample knitting a pair of socks for Explorer Knits and Fibers, or Allie. She's one of my favorite indie dyers, and she needed a sock sample knitter, and I volunteered. So I did knit her a pair of the Glimmer socks by Emily of the Blue Mouse. I did already send them back, but I got a clip to show you guys. I'll insert later in the video during that section of the podcast. But in return, I got a set of the sock kit that I sample knit with. So she sent me her Grand Teton National Park and Jenny Lake colorway in a sock kit as payment for knitting her a pair in this. And you'll see the socks finished in another clip. But it was so pretty to work with, and I think I finished the socks in a little over a week. Guys, this was such a dream to work with. The colors aren't like taking over each other. They stand out on their own, especially this green in here. There's this nice forest green. That was probably my favorite part of the color because it like stood out on its own and it was really nice. It didn't pull at all. So this is her superwash merino nylon base, the Denali sock. This is my favorite base of hers. It's just really nice. And then you get 400 yards of the big skein, and then there's 80 yards of the little skein. And yeah, I'm excited to make myself a pair of socks with these. I can't wait. And then one last thing I'm going to show you guys in the acquisitions part, but I got some sock blockers. These were from a girl at the Maker Retreat. They were too big for her, and she saw that I was making socks, so she offered them to me. Unfortunately, we actually have the same size foot, so they are too big for me too, but these really came in handy when I was doing the sample knit socks for Allie because she had me make a size 8, and these are actually a little small for a size 8, so maybe I'll second think them being too big for me. I wear a size 6 shoe sock, so maybe these will be right. I don't know. We'll try them again, but sock blockers, yay! All right, and that is all the stuff I have to add to my collection. That's a lot. I am not discounting that is a lot of stuff. Did not buy it all at once, and I did save my money for it, so don't be a hater. But let's just jump right into finished objects. So the first finished object I'm going to show you is from the Maker Retreat. It's not from the Maker Retreat, I made it after the Maker Retreat, but it's a memory for the Maker Retreat. So if you guys remember, I said that we hand dyed our own yarn, and I turned my hand dyed yarn into a finished object here. I decided I wanted to make something to remember the weekend, whether I wore it or not. I just knew it would be more special than having the yarn sitting there, never to be used. So I dyed some worsted weight yarn and turned it into a Chevy hat by Andrea Mallory. So this is the Chevy, and this is the yarn that I dyed. Really like it. It's all speckly with some peaches and a little bit of a chestnut color for some darkness, and then a chartreuse color, which is the green, and just hot pink, just so many colors that I love. Kind of reminded me of like a sushi roll or something. But so this is the Chevy hat by Andrea Mallory, like I said. It has a German twisted cast on. I think that's the first time I used it, was in this pattern, which I've been using it ever since. So really like that. And then it just has some, I think she called it broken rib in the pattern, but it's like twisted stitches. So some of them are twisted stitches and some of them are just regular stockinette net, as you can see. So it's just knit through the back loop down here, and then there's a series of yarn overs and decreases to form the Chevy pattern, and then it just decreases down to form the crown of the hat, and then you have a really cute hat. I did block this because it was kind of small, and now it's kind of big, and so I don't know, but it's just really a commemorative piece, honestly. And I added one of the tags that was in our goodie bag to it, which is in the shape of Michigan, and it says the Maker Retreat. I just thought that would be a really nice way to finish off this pattern, because I hand dyed this yarn that weekend, and then this cute tag was in there from my friend Jenna. I just had to use it on this hat, and I'm very happy that I worked away on this for a couple of days to finish it and have it, and it's so special, and I can't wait to figure out a great way to wear it, because it just reminds me of such a great time. So the pattern itself, I followed it to a T. I used the exact same needle. I didn't gauge or anything. I don't usually gauge for hats, which maybe was a problem, but we don't know that. The pattern was really simple. I really like, personally, knitting through the back loop. I think it's kind of fun. It breaks it up, so that part was totally fine for me. And then it's really easy to follow. I think a beginner who knows like the basics of decreasing and increasing and things like that, they could really get a hold of this pattern. But it's very cute. It's very subtle, the differences, and I really recommend the pattern. I just wanted something simple like this. Something that had a little bit of oomph, but wasn't like too bold, like not lots of cables or anything, because I wanted my yarn to do all of the talking, and then I wanted Jenna's pen to, or tag, to really stand out there. So I think I accomplished exactly what I was going for, and thank you, Andrea Mallory, for the great pattern, because now I have an awesome commemorative piece. Right, and as I also mentioned, I sample knit a pair of socks for Allie over at Explorer Knits and Fibers, and I finished those as well. I did take a little clip that I'm going to insert right here. Hey guys! Sorry, it's past Lori here, and I'm going to be showing you these socks that I just finished because I have to ship them off today, but I still want to show you guys on my podcast and chart. Sorry if I look crazy, I literally just rolled out of bed. And I'm about to pack these up. I think it's like 9 a.m. on Friday, and I want to get these sent back to the yarn dyer that I am sample knitting these for. So these are the Glimmer socks by the Blue Mouse. Emily over at the Blue Mouse. I really liked this sock pattern, and I never thought I'd knit socks ever. But here we are. I knit a pair of socks, and I love it. These are for a size 8 foot, so they are 9 1/4 inches long, and the cuff is 4 inches long, and then it has a slip stitch heel. I followed Emily's pattern exactly to the T because this was really my first pair of socks that I made. So I have made a sock before. Actually, I've made 2 socks before, not a pair, separate occasions, and so it's really nice to have a finished pair. I think I made these in like 8 days, and my hands are killing me, so I definitely need to take a break from knitting. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm really happy that Allie from Explorer Fibers and Knits, did I even say that? Yeah, I sample knitted these for Explorer Knits and Fibers, or Allie. She is so talented. It's kind of what it looks like. You can see a really good picture on my Instagram of the color of it. But this is from her National Park like monthly collection thing. So it was like she chose a national park. I think this was, I actually have the card over here somewhere, I think. So it was the Grand Teton National Park. That was this month, and this was what her inspiration was, and she absolutely nailed it. It looks exactly like this. My husband saw me working on them, and he was like, is that what that postcard goes to? Because the yarn and the postcard look the exact same. You can kind of tell there, but like all the colors are perfectly separated. They didn't get muddled or anything. And then she has the contrasting color that goes with it, which I believe is called Lake something. Ooh, I'm really bad, you guys. It's inspired by the lake part of the photo. I'm so sorry. I'm terrible. But she did great. I highly recommend any of her yarn, honestly, especially her National Park collection, because they're all gorgeous. And sorry if my head is like cut off this whole time. It's really about the socks, so it doesn't matter. But I don't think that those socks really gave me much trouble. I used 12-inch circulars from Chiagu in 2.25 millimeter, and then I casted on 64 stitches for these because I do have a really tight gauge and it's ribbing, so I wanted to do the 64 stitches, and I think they fit really well. I have a size 6 foot, so I can't really try them on, but I did try the cuff part on, and it fits really well for my foot or my ankle, so I feel like it'll be good. I think that's all I have to say about those, so I will let you get back to your regularly scheduled podcasting, and I'll talk to you guys in like 2 seconds. Bye. So I was really happy to knit those socks for Allie. I used my 12-inch circular, so they flew off my needles, literally. They went so fast. My hands were really hurt pretty badly after knitting those, but I needed to get them done, so I just did it. And it just felt so nice to have that finished object in my hand. It was kind of sad to send them back, but I have my own yarn, so I can make my own, which is always fun. But I had a great time knitting those for Allie. The yarn was such an experience to knit. Emily's pattern is fantastic, and I hope that they're everything that Allie was looking for. All right, and then I think that's it for my finished objects. I don't have a whole lot, but I've been working on a bunch of other things that I'm about to show you. So I do have a half object, which is a glimmer sock that I showed you last time that I was working on. I did finish it. I took it to the maker retreat. Didn't finish it there, but I finished it like right after I got back. So this is one of Emily's glimmer socks using Lane and Lotus's yarn. You guys have seen this yarn a million times, so I'm not even gonna go into it. But I learned to do a slip stitch heel, which was really nice to learn that. Learned how to do a gusset. Let me try to put it on a sock blocker while I talk. And it was just a really great experience. I know I never said, like, I said to myself I would never knit socks. Like, I just didn't see myself knitting a sock. But ever since I started making socks and having finished the ones for Allie, I'm pretty hooked on making socks. So you guys might see some more socks in the future. I want to try some self-striping yarn, so I need to find an indie dyer who has some really cool colors. I do think this sock blocker is a little big, but you guys will get the idea. This was my first ever sock. I don't know if I'm gonna make the second one or not. We will see. I'm not gonna put pressure on myself too. I've already casted on another sock that you guys will see that I know I'll make both of, but this one is still on the fence if I will or not. So this is the glimmer sock by Emily. It's very simple to follow. She gives really great instructions, so many instructions, and lots of video links that you can look to learn all the techniques that you need. And I didn't even use a video when doing the heel. She just explained it so well. And the same with the toe. I didn't need a video to do the Kitchener or anything, even though it was my first time. Emily made it very easy. So Lane and Lotus yarn, glimmer socks, And not much else to say. These are for a size 6.5 foot, which is what I wear. And yeah, these I actually did a 5-inch cuff on, and then the ones I made for Emily I did a 4-inch cuff on, which I like the 4-inch better, so just to keep that in mind. And then this is 64 stitch cast on with a slip stitch heel, as I already mentioned. So these socks, I don't really have much else to say. Like I said, you probably won't be seeing a finished pair of these, I don't think. It could happen, you never know, but don't get your hopes up. So we're just gonna keep this a hope for now. Okay, and I feel like I've been talking a million miles an hour this whole time, so we're gonna go ahead and move right along into the works in progresses, so my whips. So the first whip I'm going to show you is another pair of socks. This is the Lysol pattern by the Woolly Kraken. My friend Nicole, I love her little pattern. She makes dog like cowls, and I think they're the cutest things ever. But anyways, I'm making her Lysol socks, and they are an ankle pair of socks, which I love. I really like ankle socks, so this will probably be my style of choice. And my husband already wants a pair, so he'll be getting one soon out of the same yarn. I should have enough, because a size 8 pair of socks only used like 52 grams of yarn, so I should have enough to make 2 pairs of ankle socks, even though he has enormous feet. So this is Explorer Knits and Fibers yarn in Tropics. This was from her very first update, so you cannot get this yarn anymore. I don't know the base, I don't know anything about it really, just know it's the Tropics colorway. I know I talked about it in one of my very first podcasts, so you can probably get more information if you go check out one of those. You'll hear about this yarn, but this was from her very first update. I've had it in my collection for so long. I really wanted to turn it into a pair of socks, and so here we are. It's very fun, very colorful. I really like it, and I'm enjoying myself. I really like the way that this heel fits better than the slip stitch heel. This is a German short row heel, which was so fun to learn that technique as well. I've never done German short rows, so that was really exciting. And I'm got a few more inches before I'm going to start the toe, but we're pretty good. This is a 60 stitch cast on. They are a little tight, so I'm a very, very tight knitter, you guys. So 60 stitches was a little much on a 2.25 millimeter knitting needles, 12-inch circulars. These are Chiagu's. I'm like all over the place with this, but yeah. Anyways, great pattern. Nicole did great. She's included all the videos that you need for any of the questions you would have. German twisted cast on, German short row heel. It's gonna have a Kitchener stitched toe, I think. Yeah, I don't know all of the sock lingo yet. And I really like the way that the colors are coming up. They're not pooling, it's very purpley. And then I have a little stitch marker marking where I ended my gusset so I can count. This is from Aunt Kay's Handmaids. She sent me a couple of extras for myself whenever I had my 10K giveaway over on Instagram, which was very exciting. And also, you guys, thank you for subscribing to my channel if you have recently, because we are just shooting up in subscribers and I cannot believe it. Like, I just sit here and talk to a camera really, really fast with my hands flying all over the place, and you guys want to watch that. Like, okay, thank you. Seriously, like, this hobby is just, it makes me so happy. And the fact that I get messages from people like, I love your podcast, your personality is great, I just really relate, like, that means a lot. Like, you have no idea how that really helps me just feel better, and like, this is just an outlet, and having people that can relate and just enjoy it is really great. So thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching and dealing with my weird quirks. But yeah, sock, halfway done with the first one. Can't wait to get it off my needles and start the second one. I started this a couple days ago on a whim. I just was like, I'm gonna cast on at 8 o'clock in the morning before I go to work. And that's what I did, and here we are now. It's all I've been working on really, pretty monogamously for the past 2 days. It's just easy. I understand why people knit socks now. I can put them in my bag and just go. So, Lysol socks by the Woolly Kraken. Really easy going so far. Don't really have much else to say, but love the pattern, and I can't wait to have these socks finished. Okay, and I just have one more whip that I'm going to show you that you guys have not seen before. I have a couple of other whips that I have shown you, like my Weekender and my tea leaf cardigan and my Sunset Highway, that I've done a little tiny bit on, but not nearly enough to show you guys or that I care to pull it out to show you guys. All those patterns are kind of on time out. I'm like, there's something about them that I just don't love, that I'm trying to decide if I want to keep going or frog them or what. So they're on time out. Not going to show them, but I'm going to show you my new sweater that I'm working on. Whenever I made my Nordica sample for Cozy Posy, I had originally bought in yarn to make one for myself, but I wanted to make the one for her first, obviously, and I finally decided to cast on my Nordica. So I'm using Lane & Lotus's yarn, and I am, through the yoke, I connect it for the body. So you can see we've connected. We have a nice V-neck here. There's a lot going on right now, you guys. So you can't really see because my needles are too small for this, but I'm using Chiagu's, and I did go up to a size 4mm for my main size, if you guys are wondering. On the Nordica by Caitlin Hunter. So here's where we're at. If you guys can tell, we are a couple inches past the V-neck part, but we have not separated for the sleeves yet. That's coming very, very, very soon. A couple more rows and I'll be separated for sleeves, and then we'll be on the body, and then the color work, and then the sleeves, and then we'll be done. So this is Lane & Lotus's First Things First colorway. This is the first ball that I've used. I have a couple, I have one other ball I need to wind up. I'm going to fade them in. I decided to do that instead of alternating every single row, because this has worked flat and then in the round, and I didn't really know how I wanted to alternate stitches or alternate skeins that way. So we just kept it simple. But this colorway, you guys, and the texture I'm getting with this fabric, I'm obsessed. And then we have our little cable sections there. I know you're not gonna be able to see that well because this is a really dark yarn, but it's a very tonal brown color, which browns usually aren't my go-to color, but I'm pairing it with a nice basic tan color and then a very nice mustard. So I think this will be a nice neutral that I can throw over anything. I really wanted to get this done for the springtime. I think I could even wear it into the summer over dresses. Totally fine, because it is just a really short sleeve, and this is a very airy fabric. Because like I said, I did go up to a size 4mm because I know with Caitlin Hunter patterns, she is a very loose knitter and I'm a very tight knitter. So I always go up a whole needle size almost. I actually think I only went up like 3/4 of a needle size, if that is even an explanation on needle sizes. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not the best knitter, like the most technical knitter. I just know how to knit. Okay? Forgive me. So I don't have too much to say about this. It's a really fun pattern. If you guys haven't knit the Nordica, please do. Like, even if you don't do the color work, she has like the version with no color work, and it's just really fun. And the technique is really exciting, something new, something different. And I love the cable detail. The cable is my favorite part. Like, how simple and adorable is that? Love that so much. I can't wait to have this done. I stopped working on it because I started working on those socks, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this because I have made one before, so I kind of knew what to expect. I don't think I've had any problems yet. I don't think I've run into anything with this one yet. It's coming. Something's going to be in here. There's going to be a mistake somewhere. It has to. So yeah, I'm just going to fade in the next ball of this when I get 25 grams or so, maybe even less than that. I don't know how much I'll need to fade. The other skein did look a little bit different, so I am definitely going to be fading, but as of right now, we're just using the one skein. It's coming out great. Lane & Lotus yarn, one of my favorites. I think Allie from Explore Knits and Fibers, Jen from Lane & Lotus, and then Lindsay from Hello Stella. Those are probably, and then Autumn and Indigo. I don't really remember her name off the top of my head, but those are like my favorite indie dyers at the moment, and from past moments if you guys watch my previous podcast. So I'm like a broken record. Nordica, Caitlin Hunter, Lane & Lotus, love this. Yoke's almost done. We're gonna move on to the body soon, and couldn't be happier. So that's just living in my yarn bowl that I got from Michael's that I showed you guys last time. I love this thing. I've been using it every day since I got it. I didn't take it with me on the maker's retreat, obviously, but every day that I'm at home knitting, this is what I'm using. All right. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's all the stuff that I had to show you guys, and I'm going to scurry off to the yarn store. I think I might do a little Instagram follow me around on there. I did one of those earlier in the week when I showed you my job. I am a dog walker, if you guys don't know. So I took you guys through a full day of dog walking with me, and people on Instagram loved it. I got so many messages, so much love for it, and I couldn't have been happier. It made my day so fun. I already have a fun day at work. I walk dogs, hello. But it was just nice to share it with other people because it's kind of an untraditional job, to be honest, but I love it. And so I'm off to the yard store, and then I have a cat sitting thing I have to do. So I walk dogs and I babysit cats. Like, it's all the same company. So I'm going to go do that, and I think I'm going to take you guys along on Instagram. So it's important to follow me on Instagram, children, if you want to keep up with my life, if you like me. But I'm gonna hop off of here because I've been talking for a while. I don't know what time it is. I use my back camera on my phone because it's the better quality, so I have no idea if you guys are even recording right now, which is terrifying. But I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching, and if you guys like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below on anything you want to talk about, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later. Bye!